Time is running out for an Austin woman seeking access to an experimental drug doctors say could save her life.
We first told you about Andrea Sloan 3 weeks ago. She's the director of the Texas Advocacy Project, and she's also fighting end-stage ovarian cancer.
Now, her doctors say a drug manufactured by BioMarin Pharmaceuticals is the best hope for her survival, but the company won't grant her compassionate use of the drug, even though the FDA says she is a good candidate.
Investigator Shannon Wolfson has been following this story and joins us with this update. And Shannon, we heard from the top executives of this company for the first time today.
Well, we sure did, but first we want to explain exactly what compassionate use is. It means that if you meet certain requirements from the FDA, if your doctor believes you're a candidate and the drug company agrees, a seriously ill patient with no other option can be allowed to take an experimental drug not yet FDA approved. Well, Andrea Sloan meets those requirements. There is no question about that. But for 5 weeks, BioMarin continues to tell her she will not be granted single patient access of the drug BMN 673. They spoke directly to her case for the first time publicly today at a presentation to shareholders in New York.
And I know they are going to do the right thing. I truly do. I don't understand an incentive not to do the right thing.
When we first met Andrea Sloan, she never thought her battle to get the drug she needs would take so long.
If you give people the opportunity to rise to the occasion, they always do. So I know that is going to be true of the CEO of BioMarin.
But 5 weeks after she first started asking for compassionate use of BMN 673, the CEO of BioMarin told shareholders Tuesday the company will not grant compassionate use.
We believe that everybody, all the patients that we try to serve, should have access to the drug in an absolutely equal way. No one has priority over anybody else. And consequently, we will continue to stay true to that purpose.
At the same time, BioMarin's chief medical officer, Dr. Henry Fuchs, spent close to an hour telling shareholders about the promising results the company has seen in 673 trials.
We think that this drug is going to grow legs.
And then a question from the audience.
Could you please comment on the possible effects of stock prices and shareholders of the negative press as a result of Andrea Sloan's failed request for compassionate use of BMN 673? And whether any potential litigation would cause a dip in prices?
Hope sometimes gets unfulfilled in the course of clinical trials, and things that we think work don't actually end up working. And in fact, more harm can be done. So we stick to the clinical trials process.
But other drug companies do allow for compassionate use. In fact, KXAN discovered more than 3,000 requests to the FDA for compassionate use over the last 3 years, and nearly all of them were granted.
Our objective is to get the drugs we are developing to the maximum number of patients in the minimum amount of time. And that's what we are focusing on.
But an email obtained by KXAN shows BioMarin may be focused on more than that. The company's CEO appears to have accidentally replied all in a response to an Andrea Sloan supporter. In his email, the CEO writes to Fuchs and other executives, quote, "Hank, as you said, it's time to refocus the message on competitive PARPs available. Although, is the assertion that there are no trials of PARP inhibitors currently enrolling in ovarian cancer correct? Deborah, have you engaged the PR agency?" In response to a KXAN request to authenticate the email, Deborah, who is BioMarin's media spokesperson, Deborah Charlesworth, responded, "We don't have any further comment."
I do think that there's a moral imperative to make sure that we do whatever we can to make life-saving medications that have already been developed available to the people who need them.
Andrea Sloan says she isn't asking for special treatment, just a chance to take advantage of a system already in place for people just like her.
I know life is worth more than the other. No one person deserves this drug more than the other. I just happen to be the person who's asking for it right now.
Well, we also asked BioMarin how many times they have requested single patient access compassionate use from the FDA and how many times it was granted. We were told they don't provide that information publicly. Meantime, Andrea Sloan's social media campaign is on fire. An online petition supporting her fight has now garnered more than 135,000 signatures in 3 weeks.